Name's Meepo, Geomancer. Pleased to meet ya.
Hello everyone and welcome to another video from Dota. Today I'm going to be going over my hotkeys for Meepo, my recommended hotkeys for Meepo, and really explaining why I have these set hotkeys and how they're going to help you play Meepo better. Because he is a pretty difficult hero. He does have his gimmicks that you have to get used to. So I'm just going to be going over the hotkeys. I have done a previous video on this, which was in the Source 1 engine. The reason I'm uploading this video is because we're now in the Source 2 engine. Things are slightly different, very slightly different, but I just think it will help a bit to update the guide, basically, on my hotkeys. My hotkeys haven't changed, I don't think, so we'll just get straight into it. So if you're new to Dota, I'm going to take this from a perspective that you are new to Dota. Apologies to the majority that won't be, but we'll go through bit by bit. So you first want to open the options menu, which is this cog in the top left here on the Reborn client, and you're going to be presented with a lot of stuff, basically. So you have 4 tabs at the top, which is your hotkeys, your options, your video, and your audio. We're actually going to go over my options because the options do tie into Meepo. It's not just about the hotkeys. The options do have a definite effect. For anyone who wants to know my video and audio, it makes very little difference in the grand scheme of things. But here it is. It's could do with some playing around with, but that's that. So here is the options menu, and there's a lot to select. You can customize your Dota experience in a lot of ways. You can change the speed of the camera, which is a very important one. I would say the speed of the camera here is an incredibly important one to take into account. You don't want to be panning around at the speed of light, nor do you want to be panning around in this sluggish, not very practical way. So here's we're going to go through them one by one. We're going to try and get through them pretty quickly because I don't want this video to be too long. So you definitely want to have auto attack turned off. This is a must, and if you just loaded up the game, this will be auto selected. I don't know if they patched it so that it doesn't auto select this anymore, but just for safety's sake, untick the auto attack. You will not regret it. Auto attack after spell. This is an interesting one. Auto attack after spell can sometimes be quite bad because it does mean that if you're a support player, mainly a support player, and you cast a spell, you will auto attack a creep occasionally if you're not controlling your character, your hero. You're not controlling your hero as manually as constantly clicking like some people do. So auto attack after spell is good. For Meepo. It's very good for Meepo because if you don't have auto attack after spell on, if you poof a camp, so if you double poof a camp, which you should be doing, your Meepos will not attack after the poof, so they will stand there continuously taking damage. You'll take unnecessary damage, and it's not very efficient. So you may want to untick this if you're playing support, but if you're playing Meepo, I would say have it selected. So you may have to switch it every time you play Meepo. Auto purchase items, definitely not. This is a very new player friendly option. If you're not brand new to the game, do not have this ticked. Auto select summoned units, I have this clicked off. I don't think it really adds anything really helpful to the game. Double tap ability to self cast. This is important. I believe you can double tap poof to poof on the spot, which I think is really helpful. I think this is just a nice one to have. You can turn it off if you. It's not a key one for Meepo, but you can turn it off if you want. Unified unit orders. This is a must-have for Meepo, in my opinion. Holding control is an incredibly natural action for me if you're right-handed. You can use your little finger to hold control, or your third finger, counting from the right side to the left. You can use your third finger to select the control if you want, and it's a pretty natural action. You just hold control down and you'll select all your Meepos. Every click you do while holding control will make all your Meepos go to that selected location, which is really nice. Teleport requires stop. I really like this because boots of travel is a common item on Meepo, so you don't want to accidentally be cancelling teleport in all the mad movements you're going to be making. So teleport requires stop is great. Force right click attack, I would not recommend that. Holding alt highlights heroes, incredibly small change. Up to you if you have that ticked. Show ability rangefinder when casting. This is a pretty nice one actually. I should probably have that ticked. I think they added that. So I'm going to have that ticked now. I didn't actually realise. Show player names over health bar. Again, a preference. I have it ticked. Show hit points over player health bar. Quite nice actually. Quite helpful. So I have this ticked as well. Shop always uses hotkeys. This is a pretty complicated one to get right. I would recommend only using it if you're incredibly used to using it. I've played Dota for thousands of hours and I still can't get the hang of this. I haven't taken the time to learn hotkeys. It can be more efficient, but when you're talking about all the micro that's involved with Meepo, I think an extra set of hotkeys for just the sharp is a bit too much, in my opinion. Broadcast stats doesn't really matter. Colorblind mode, I've had this selected a couple of times. Some people will know that. Not really, not really a big change. It's just a bit nicer on the eye sometimes with the blue. Quick attack. So I've got these two unticked. So that's just the main game options there. The minimap. The minimap one is quite nice. You can definitely customize this to be a little bit more detailed. I actually don't like using the crosshairs that you get, the X's that you get, the coloured X's. I don't like that. I don't think it's very helpful. So I use the hero icons. So I have these two selected, which gives me the hero icons on the map, and then have names icons always in a minimap. It doesn't actually display the names unless you have this unselected. But if you have these two selected, you'll just get the icons of the hero constantly on the minimap. On the camera, the only one I have selected is edge pan. Screen shakes a bit. I wouldn't recommend it. Move camera and respawn. I would not recommend this. It's nice to be to have full control of your camera. So I have this unselected. That you can have selected if you want to know. It basically grays out the camera if you're actually dead. And that I have selected off. And then my camera speed. This is my camera speed. I have it on 6009. On the camera speed, this seems to be very comfortable to me. I have the camera deceleration on full. Basically this gives me a little bit more of an exact, very much more a StarCraft sort of camera. If you ever watch Dota games, they will have their camera speed set very low on the deceleration. It will be very smooth and very easy to watch. Players, if you're playing the game, it's very advantageous in my opinion to have a very sharp camera that stops instantly, and you get a very good control of your camera. So these are my camera settings. You can copy those if you want. Play around with those to see in like a private lobby. Play around with those to see what you like the best. And the profile is very personal, so I wouldn't recommend playing around with that too much if you don't want to. And these are my hotkeys. This is going to be this is what we're going to be focusing on the most right here. This is important. This is the most important. Everything else, bar a couple, is quite customizable and doesn't really affect Meepo too much. It'll affect your overall game. So these ones can be set as you like them, but up here where we see the abilities is what we're going to be focusing on. So if you can see, the game opens up with cast. No Quickcast will be selected if you haven't touched this. So if you've never touched Quickcast here, you will automatically be on cast. So, for example, and to do this, I'm going to load up a private lobby, and I haven't done this yet. Okay, create custom lobby. Here we are. I haven't done this yet in Reborn, so bear with me a little bit. I may have to cut this out. Okay, so it seems you don't have to go up to custom games there, guys. I am still quite new to Reborn. I haven't been playing Dota that much. So up here you can create a lobby. Just down here you click, oh, I actually didn't want to do that. Play Dota, sorry. And you want to go and create a lobby. And then you can pretty much just create your own. So local host. Don't need it. Oh, game name, okay, just put in there. I'll pick. Don't need a password. Unlisted, so make sure it's unlisted. There probably is another way to create lobbies, guys. It's very different actually for me than it was in Source 1, so I'm just going to create this. Hopefully it should be alright. You'll also want to have enabled cheats selected there as well, guys. I forgot that one. That is very helpful for like boosting the gold, so you can pick up a blink dagger very quickly. So we're going to start the game here. Reborn's all very new to me. If you've just got the game, if you just started playing the game, then you won't know what I mean when I say Reborn. The current client we're using is actually a very new client. It's actually been called Reborn, so that's what I call it. So we're going to load into a lobby here, and we're going to straight up give ourselves some gold. If you've enabled cheats, your command will be that, and then you can just see your gold does. I'm just going to turn the sound down a little bit here. Your gold does boost up there, so you can instantly buy yourself a blink dagger, which is really helpful. And you're going to see a couple of things straight off the bat. So if I'm panned over here, you can probably hear me double clicking the 1 key there, which is selecting me straight back to the Meepo, which is really helpful for playing Meepo. But we're going to demonstrate a couple of things with Quickcast. Quickcast is an important thing to get used to with Meepo. We're also going to level ourselves up, so LV 25. Nope. LV up 25, I believe. There we go. And this will give you level 25, so we can just instantly get ourselves to full Meepo capacity. I'm not going to buy the Aghanim. Actually, I should probably go and buy the Aghanim Scepter. So we're going to put it on WTF just to quickly get over to the secret shop. See, all these commands are very nice to get used to because it's very good for practicing Meepo. And then we're going to finish the Aghanim Scepter there. We're just going to poof them all up there. Okay, ignore that. We're going to. I'm going to explain why I did that before. But now we're going to pretty much just show you the difference between Quickcast. So, I'm on Quickcast right now, and you can see my hotkeys here. I have QW, and then these two are passive, so you don't really need to worry about that. But I do have these on QW, E, and R, which is a very common mobile hotkey setup. If you're using legacy keys, then you'll of course need to get used to that. We're going to show you. I'm going to show you what happens with Quickcast. So my mouse cursor is over here. Normally, when you cast your net, this will happen. So when you select your net, you'll get this rangefinder thing if you have that option selected, and then you will get your net selection radius. So this is the radius of the net, and you get a cursor. So it's kind of like a confirmation cursor. Then I'm going to just chuck the net, because I have this on WTF, I can endlessly chuck nets. And so you're going to press Q, and then you're going to cast the net. It's going to glitch out a little bit here because I cast so many, but basically you can get the idea of cast, and this is what you'll be used to if you've been playing the game. Quickcast eliminates the confirmation click. So I'm going to put that on Quickcast. You can see here. I go to click cast if I want to put them on cast. I click Quickcast if I want to put them on Quickcast. And the difference between Quickcast and cast is that cast is instant. So you can see here my cursor's here, and it's clicking, and it's just throwing the nets out. Of course, they're glitching out just as a bug. It's been in the game since Source 1. And really, this is really nice for just speed. It's especially useful with poof, and I'm going to demonstrate the difference between Quickcast poof and cast poof in a minute. So as you can see, the moment I press Q, it's going to cast the net towards my my cursor. So this has disadvantages, so if you're not used to this, you may be clicking over here, and you may want to net here, but because your cursor's here, because you're a little bit slow, you're going to click Q, and you're going to net there when you're meant to net somewhere else, but you're just going to have to get used to it. I think it's very useful. So, just going to go through that one more time so everyone gets what I'm talking about. You want to go to your hotkeys, abilities, have the hero tab selected here. You've got your cast, autocast, and quickcast. We're going to completely ignore autocast. I don't recommend that at all. And then we're going to go to Quickcast, and we're going to set all these skills Q, W, E, D, F, and R. You can set these to your normal legacy keys if you want. I'm not going to go over that because I don't understand them. But my hotkeys are Q, W, E, D, F, and R. For cast, some skills you may want to have also on cast, but you can't have Quickcast Q, W, E, D, F, and R and cast Q, W, E, D, F, and R. That doesn't work. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have a key and Q, or you could set them to say Z, X, C, V, B if you wanted to. But for me, just for argument's sake, I have Alt E, Alt D, Alt F. I don't think it really helps that much. I could put this on Alt Q if I wanted to. Actually, I just reset hotkey there accidentally. As you can see, I just have this on like Alt Q, Alt E, Alt D, Alt F. Doesn't really help that much, but you can have that if you want. But mainly what we're focusing on here is Quickcast, and I have this for every hero. I think it's very good to get used to this because it saves a lot of time. So I'm going to show you the blink poof combo, which is the bread and butter of Meepo, and with Quickcast to show you how quick it is. So that was with Quickcast. You can see here, the moment I want to poof 2 to 1, all I have to do is select 2 with 2, and just click W while my cursor is over the other Meepo, which is really, really strong. We're going to go over my other hotkeys so you can get the hang of this. So for me, I have my second Meepo on 2, as you can see here. My third Meepo is on 3, my fourth Meepo is on 4, my fifth Meepo is on 5, sorry. And every time I double click that key, it will pan the camera to them and center the camera on them. So you can see here, double tapping 1, double tapping 2, double tapping 3, double tapping 4, double tapping 5. You can do this so it always has this, so it always defaults this, so you don't have to control click and 1, control click and 2 in the control groups tab here in the hotkeys tab. So at the bottom right here you've got control group tab, have that on tab if you're right-handed. Group 1 have this deselected, and I'll tell you in a minute why. Group 2 have it on 2, Group 3 on 3, Group 4 on 4, Group 5 on 5, and Group 6 on 6. This will mean that every time you have a Meepo here, a new Meepo pops up, so the second Meepo will always be on 2. I do believe you have to kind of set this so if that still doesn't work, just hold Control and click 2 on the second Meepo, and then on the third Meepo and it will bind that Meepo to that button if that doesn't work. That's a rare occurrence, but if that doesn't work, that's how you do it. That's that out the way. So now I'm going to show you how much slower it is to use cast instead of Quickcast. We're going to group my Meepos together, the rest of my Meepos, and if you saw how I did that there, I pressed X and it selected all my other units, all my other Meepos that aren't the main unit, and I did that with select all other units, and I selected that to X. You can have that as whatever you want, but I have it on X. So we're going to show you how much slower cast is than Quickcast. As you can see, all my other Meepos here, and I'm going to try and do the blink poof combo again. If I click W, if I press 2 now, so if I tab and then press W, I get this, I get confirmation cursor. I then have to do this for each Meepo, and I screwed it up because I had to do that. With cast, you're much more likely to run into a mistake with poof, so I'm just going to try that one more time. Had to do it a little bit slower there, but I managed to get it off. And now I'm going to try it with the blink. You can see it's a lot more difficult even for me. I believe I got it right. Okay, so great. Yeah, that's the blink poof combo with cast. You automatically see it is slower. Also, you can see I have my items on Quickcast, sorry, and you can do this in the options menu. Same as your abilities. You can set your items to Quickcast. So whenever you click this item, you don't get a confirmation cursor normally with blink dagger. You will get a confirmation cursor as before. So I want to actually just put this there. So my blink dagger was previously on F3 on Quickcast. Now it's F3 on cast, and you can automatically see I get a confirmation cursor, and I blink in that direction. I blink to obviously, where I've stated, and I get a confirmation cursor. So I have to do an extra click. I don't like this, so I have my items on Quickcast. Now, you're also going to see that the bottom row of my items are actually on cast. So you can see there, I have to Alt and 1 to cast that. I have that for BKBs and stuff, for stuff I really don't want to waste. It's alright wasting a blink dagger, but if you waste a BKB charge or a refresher, it's really going to suck. So for safekeeping, if you're a little bit inaccurate with your key presses, you may want to have the bottom 3 or the rest of them on cast. It's up to you. Also, you could maybe even put ultimates as the ability ultimate on cast as well if you're a little bit scared of wasting your ultimate. So there you saw the difference between Quickcast blink poof and cast blink poof. And before we get into anything else, I'm just going to run through the entirety of my hotkeys. So as before mentioned, you want your abilities on Quickcast, Q, W, E, D, F, and R. This works really nicely with tab because tab and W are very, very close together. So tab poofing is I just opened the console. It's super easy. You can just spam it as much as you want, and it's just super easy. As long as your cursor is centered on your main Meepo, all your other Meepos will move to that location very, very quickly. You can get incredibly quick at this as well with very little practice. So we're going to go through each of my every hotkeys now. Ability learn is on T because it's obviously very close to Q, W, E and R. Upgrade stats is on U. It's pretty close to T. Attack move is on A. Move is on M. Stomp is S. Hold position is H. Select hero is 1. I recommend doing this because it ties in nicely with your control groups. I don't have a key for select all units, I use Ctrl. Select all other units as before stated is X. Select courier is G. I don't have any hotkeys for the courier speed burst when I'm not controlling the courier. So basically, if I have a courier, I have to press G first to select it. If I want to speed boost it, so I want to like deliver my items, so I'll like put a branch on it. I want to deliver my items. I have to have it selected when I press F, which is my hotkey for deliver. If you have a hotkey for it to deliver like here, you don't have to select it first, that's all that changes. I don't have any hotkeys there. Taunt, that's negligible. Open shop is F4, purchase quick buy is L, purchase sticky is F8. These could probably do with changing, to be honest. They're not very accurate, but they're very rarely used. Camera actions, you really shouldn't be using these, but if you are, there they are. These are also quite personal, they don't really matter. Player actions, these don't really matter either. So mainly what you want to focus is on these, this is the main one. Make sure Quickcast is so useful, I would definitely recommend getting used to it. And the control groups is very important as well. These two things here, including the items as well, is very important. Using legacy keys is quite complicated, but if you play Dota 1 you'll be very used to that. And Quickcast items, you maybe want one row on Quickcast and one row on cast, or just one item on Quickcast and the rest on cast. Up to you, play around with it, but these are my hotkeys. So that's more or less it, guys. I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages to Quickcast and cast. For example, if you're new to Meepo, with cast you get a radius that gives you the exact radius of Meepo, and it's quite a wide radius. Of course with cast, however, you do not get this radius because you don't get the confirmation cursor, so it just casts instantly. So really combo is just kind of to do this, and then to spam nets. I actually didn't prove in the last Meepo, I don't think. No, I actually messed up there. Really the combo is just to kind of have your cursor around your main Meepo, poof in the rest, blink, net, go to town, kill everything. That's basically it, and these hotkeys are really nice for me. I've used them for a very long time, pretty much since the start I used Meepo, and the best thing about them is they don't interfere with playing other heroes. You don't have to, you don't have to keep resetting them. You may want to, but these hotkeys I feel work very well with other heroes like Chen, that you're going to be using multiple units. I play every hero in the game regularly, and I still have no problem using these hotkeys on other heroes. So I hope you enjoyed my guide, guys. My last guide is a little bit more in depth, but this one is a little bit more just of an update for Reborn. I hope it helped you. Let me know in the comments if you think I missed anything, if you think anything you do is maybe more helpful. Lefties, I'm sorry, I don't have a kind of guide for you for hotkeys, but you could maybe use the numpad. I think the numpad seems to be the way to go if you're left-handed. But this hotkey setup has really done me well for a very long time, so I hope it helped you as well, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
See ya!